I didn't force anyone to go to Yahoo. It was merely a suggestion, and yes, I regret my decision to even recommend it because you went along with it. So technically, it's your fault, not my fault, Sage. So deal with it. We'll move back to ESPN next year. How's that sound? That sound good, bub? That sound good? You didn't get strong armed. Well, if I did make the suggestion, that does mean that, I've got very strong arms. So yeah, I'll accept that compliment. I appreciate that very much. What I don't appreciate is football. But we're not going to talk about football just yet. Let's go over the Blue Jays today. They survived. They managed to clinch a playoff berth and win their 90th game of the season. They topped the Kansas City Royals 8-5. So it was nice to see the offense show up for once because, in fact, it was a game that we needed it. Both pitchers that pitched today are on my team for the starting pitchers, so we didn't necessarily do good for the earned run average, but I don't care about fantasy. I want the Jays to clinch this fucking division, clinch the fucking first round bye, and that's all I fucking want. So who showed up on offense today? Well, as usual, George Springer did. He was 2 for 4, 1 RBI and a walk. He's still at a 947 OPS entering the last week of the season. Both the Jays and the Yankees will be off tomorrow, so worth noting, we're not going to cover anything baseball related unless maybe Cal Raleigh hits his 60th home run of the year. That's probably it. He's currently at 58, by the way, which is fucking impressive for a catcher. I don't know if he'll have enough to top Aaron Judge for the MVP votes, but I sure hope there's some consideration. Now back to the box score. We've got Dalton Varsho 1 for 5. We had Vlad Guerrero going 2 for 5 with 2 RBI. Addison Barger 1 for 3. Miles Straw 1 for 2, coming in for, I believe he came in for Barger late in the game there, from what I can see here. The rest of the way, you had Ernie Clement and Jimenez, each with 2 hits. It's nice to see Jimenez have a multi-hit game. That seems like it's sort of an eclipse. Now, not surprising, the Blue Jays didn't hit a home run. Their only extra base hits of the game were from Springer, hitting his 25th double of the year. Guerrero with his 34th double of the year. Barger with his 31st of the year. And then Jimenez with his first triple of the year. The pitching line for Yesavage, I should say, Trey Yesavage, looks worse than it was. He was cruising until the last inning of work there. A bunch of bullshit like bloops and all that stuff. He didn't really get hit hard. He did allow 4 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, 5 hits, 3 walks. So he did lose his command late. And then, of course, Brendan Little does what Brendan Little does. Came in, wasn't able to keep any of those runs that were on base from scoring. So he had an earned run himself. In 1 2/3 of an inning, Brendan Little comes in for Trey Savage. 4 fucking hits. This guy is unbelievable in the wrong sense of the word unbelievable. He needs to get it to fucking together. I don't want to see him on the team next year. I don't want to know him. Just get out of my way. I don't want to see anymore. The rest of the way, we did slam the door, which was nice. Dominguez had a scoreless inning in the third. Eric Lauer picked up a hold. scoreless inning in the 8th. And then Jeff Hoffman picked up his 32nd save of the year. So, big win for the Jays. They really did need this one because the Yankees in the 10th inning put up 6 runs to beat Baltimore 7-1. So the Jays are still 2 games up on the Yankees as they enter, I believe, a home series against Boston. The Jays really need to look to take at least 2 out of 3 in this series. Like, it's enough fucking around, okay? Yeah, you had a little 4-game losing streak after a nice little 6-game winning streak. But we need to close, like, it's closing time. I think the Yankees are going to play Chicago. So we just are really hoping the Yankees can lose one there, and then the Blue Jays can just take care of business, man. Like, enough is enough. We're a better fucking team than the Yankees. Let's stop fucking around. Let's get our fucking shit together, get our asses in gear, and let's close this season out on a fucking good note. But it's going to be hard. I mean, it's not fucking easy to be the best in the American League, but that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. So fuck off, Toronto. Let's get our shit together. Let's close it out. Let's make it hard on the Yankees. Make them have to win every fucking ball game. Make them have to go 6-0 for the last 6 games. And then even then, we slam the door in their faces. How's that sound? Sounds pretty fucking good to me. But yeah, I mean, what is it? If we go 4-2, the Yankees would need to go undefeated. I'm pretty sure. Well, no. What's the most the Yankees can win right now? Math. The most the Yankees can win are 94 games. Okay, so if we win 4 out of 6, that's a tie. That's 94 games. We would eliminate the Yankees. So let's win 4 out of 6. Make it fucking hard on them. We're going to turn our attention to the NFL. But before we do, Sage has something he wants to say. Sage says, I ruined his draft strategy, ruined his team. Okay, fuck you, Sage. Respectfully. Just like Joe Flacco ruined our night. You know, it's funny you say that, because that's what we're going to pivot to next is the Packers game. Joe Flacco certainly didn't perform very well. He's not the reason why the Browns beat the Packers. Joe Flacco had a 55.6 rating. He had 21 completions out of 36 attempts. He threw for 142 yards, a 3.9 average. That's the worst I've seen on the year, with 1 interception. Now this Quinshawn Judkins had a good game running the ball, 94 yards on 18 carries. That's a 5.2 average with a touchdown as well. So, I mean, yeah, the running game was good. I haven't really seen that all year against the Packers, so that's a big kudos to them. What really did affect the Packers, I mean, Jordan Love was okay. He did have a stupid interception. Can't be thrown into triple coverage. Come on. Just throw the ball away, man. That was a stupid pick that he threw in the, I don't even fucking know anymore, 3rd or 4th quarter. I was trying to nap. But he did have an 89.2 rating. He was 18 for 25, 183 yards, 7.3 average. So he was the better quarterback. He took 5 sacks, though. So this is where I really want to tell you kind of the tale of the tape was the offensive line for the Packers being kind of inadequate, who couldn't establish a running game. You know, Josh Jacobs, 30 yards on 16 carries. That's a 1.9 average. As a team, we had a 2.6 average. That's not going to cut it, 81 yards overall. But first play of the game for the Packers on offense, you got Zach Tom up against Myles Garrett. He leaves, re-aggravated his oblique injury. I don't think he's going to play week 4 against the Dallas Cowboys. That's a big fucking blow for the Packers. Also, early in the game, we had Aaron Banks. I think he re-aggravated his groin injury that he had. So we were counting on Josh Morgan and Anthony Belton. So Morgan was manning left guard. Belton was at right guard. Morgan committed three flags. I'm not blaming the kid. I'm just saying you got to play better than that. You know, we did invest 1st and 2nd round picks on Belton as well as Morgan. They're going to have to play better because at least one of the two players is going to be playing next week, most likely Morgan. We don't know if Banks is going to be back, so potentially both those guys are going to be playing. Offensive line needs to perform a lot better. That's really all I have to say about that. In terms of the rest of the offense, I don't really want to go over the offense. We didn't play very well. It's fine. I said coming into the game that Cleveland has a very good defense, and they do have one of the best defenses in the game. So I'm not surprised that they performed well defensively. They didn't perform well offensively. However, they blocked a game-winning kick from McManus late. Big play by them. Can't be having those special team gaffes. Rich Bisaccia, he needs to get shit together. He's supposed to be this highly paid, highly coveted coach. Well, why is our special teams letting this shit happen then? Can't happen. Can't have a guy come fucking unblocked and block a fucking field goal like that. Just can't happen. It's fucking closing time. We should have won this game. Instead, we're 2-1 going on the road to Dallas. Got to win that one. Get to our fucking bye. Get healthy. Because I think we had a couple other injuries on offense. I'm trying to think who was the other, or on defense. We had Devontae Wyatt with a knee injury. We don't know the severity. I don't think it's overly serious, but he's been an effective pass rusher for us. And our nickel corner, Javon Bullard, he's injured as well. I don't know. He ran into fucking Quay Walker trying to make a tackle. Not sure the severity. Could be a concussion maybe. I don't even know what the injury type is. I'm just guessing he probably hit his head on Quay Walker, and that's probably what's going on there. Not so concerned about the defensive injuries because I feel like we've got depth there, especially the Javon Bullard one. But I'm a little concerned if we lose Devontae Wyatt. More concerned about our offensive linemen. We need to play better on the offensive side of the ball for our offensive line. Good thing is we're going up against Dallas. They're definitely not going to be as good defensively, but they're going to be able to bring probably a bit more heat offensively than the Cleveland Browns, so we got to be on our toes a little bit here. Let's go through the rest of the scores this week. If there's anything notable, just let me know stats-wise. I'm not overly prepared for the stats right now. I will watch some shit later and get caught up. He said Micah Parsons is going to run wild on the Packers' own O-line. Oh, wait. Hey, you know what? If they still had Micah Parsons, this would be a good opportunity to play him on the inside a bit, play him over at right tackle, and absolutely he'd probably gouge us. Sage says those specialists are fraud. I agree. That I want to see results. I want to see results. I don't care if you're a fucking heralded name. I don't give a shit. I want to see fucking results. Sage says Brian Callahan is supposed to be an O-line guru, but we have allowed 15 sacks so far in the season. 15 sacks is a ton to allow. Granted, if the talent isn't there, coaching can only do so much. So I can't necessarily blame Bill Callahan if he just doesn't have good enough players. You can't polish a turd, Sage. You understand me? Say it with me. You can't polish a turd. So if you got a bunch of turd Fergusons on the offensive line, you can't polish them. It's the truth. It's the fact of life. And I learned that by watching the facts of life, Sage. Don't get saucy with me. I think that's what you guys are going to do next year. You know what? Let's segue into the game that Sage doesn't want me to talk about. I thought the Titans would keep it a bit closer. They did get blown out with the Colts on the road. And, you know, the Colts they won 41-20. They're a good team. They're now 3-0 on the season. There's no shame in losing to the Colts, in my opinion. Now, there is shame in losing, by 21. That does fucking suck. But Daniel Jones is playing terrific. He was 18 for 25 at a 9.1 average. He had a 113.4 rating, only one touchdown, and that's passing. But, Jonathan Taylor had a big play, 3 touchdowns on the day. I think the Colts are just farther along. And And Daniel Jones is kind of showing you get him in the right system. Maybe this guy isn't just a fucking bug-eyed fuck. Maybe this guy does have a little bit of talent. You know what I mean? So I think the system is paying off for him a little bit. Cam Ward, I mean, a 74 rating. It sounds like he was under duress. He had 4 sacks on the game. Not much of a running game to go with it, so that's really hard on a rookie. I'm not going to look at Cam Ward's stats to judge his first season. He's being thrown in there with a team that's not very good. I don't think they're going to go 0-17, as Sage suggests. But if you go 0-17, that's not a bad thing. That's a pretty good thing. I got to just read the comments real quick before we get to it. Sage says they have decent people. He should be able to coach up a solid O-line who can protect a swift breeze. The Titans at least missed 4 sacks. The offense is terrible. It needs an overhaul in the staff. I was looking at mock drafts and people are idiots. So you're looking at mock drafts. I know it's very early to be looking at mock drafts. So I'm going to ask, why were you looking at mock drafts this early in the season? So that's my first question. And also my second question is, what were they saying? They were saying the Titans picking a safety. I completely disagree. And I don't know anyone that's coming out this year from college. The Titans are going to draft offensive linemen, offensive players. That's what they're going to draft. If there's an Ashton Gienti at the right spot, I could see them drafting a running back. But I think they need to get aggressive. I think if I'm the Titans, I'm looking at a left tackle and a right tackle with my first 2 fucking picks. Seriously. You need to protect Cam Ward. You can build those other pieces later in the draft. Tackles are hard to find. You can find them later in the draft, but I'd like to see the Titans go tackles early, or at least 1 tackle, interior line, mid to late. Okay, so Latham. So okay, you don't need 2 then. So maybe you go left tackle, swing back to a wide receiver, or a like a tight end or a running back, something offensive. I do think left tackle is the most important position on the offensive, on the offensive side of the ball, other than quarterback, obviously. So I'd go, okay. And I'm kind of interested, though, if the Titans do finish last in the league, you should be so happy, because think about the offers that you're going to get at number 1 overall. If you believe in Cam Ward, you got to keep him. You got to keep this guy. And you build around him. You get a goddamn Houston trade, like, Jesus Christ, man. Or like the Bears trade there. You fucking do that in a heartbeat. Add draft capital. Add an extra 3 to 5 fucking decent picks to your draft classes the next 2 years, and be done with it. Boom. But that's going to happen with a new coach. I do think that happens with a new coach, in my opinion, because it is considered a deeper draft class this year at quarterback than other years. So if you were to have the number 1 or the number 2 pick, you're in business. I don't know if getting rid of Callahan right away is the way to go. I think that's something you want to do at the end of the season. Unless it's really that bad, I don't think you get rid of Callahan. Because the thing you don't want to do is you don't want to Jay Cutler it. You don't want to have fucking 7 coordinators within 8 years. You don't want to confuse the fucking quarterback as well. So I think you do it at the end of the year. You bring in an offensive-minded coach. Who the hell knows who that'll be? We'll see. But there's going to be offensive guys out there. There always is. And that's how you do it. You get an offensive-minded head coach. You don't need a defensive-minded head coach. Because what happens when you have a defensive-minded head coach? Well, Ben Johnson happens and he leaves. And then you've got another coordinator with a different philosophy. And the quarterback has to adapt to that. New scheme, new everything. It's not the great way to go. Todd Monken of the Ravens is a good idea. He's a bit older. He's a little long in the fucking tooth. So I'm not necessarily sure he'd be my first guy, but he does have a proven track record. Granted, he's got good talent to work with. They've got a great offensive line. They've got a great fullback. Nobody carries fullbacks in this day and age. And obviously they got the beast in the backfield, Derrick Henry. They've got good receivers. They got a pretty good quarterback there as well, Lamar Jackson. I'm pretty sure I could draw up plays for the Ravens and have a winning season. I'm just saying, Sage. I'm just saying. But yeah, he might be able to scheme up some shit. I think an offensive mind. I know you mentioned John Gruden, who I love, by the way. I watch the John Gruden podcast every fucking week, multiple episodes per week. He breaks shit down very good. I don't think he'll ever be a coach in the NFL again. I think if I was him, I'd be so sour at the NFL. So I don't think John Gruden's a guy you guys would bring in. But we'll see. You know, as the year goes on, we're going to see who emerges as very good offensive guys. And yeah, I would go with a guy who's had multiple years, though. Because remember Kevin Slowey, I think his name was for Houston, was getting coaching interviews after C.J. Stroud had his fluke rookie year. But then the year after, I think he might have got fired. So you want to make sure it's sustained success. But I think you want to look for someone that's young as well. Maybe someone that's completely under the radar. Sage says I could coach Callahan. I just wham lurk. Wham lurk, you jerk. That's all you got to do. Just fucking wham lurk. And that's all we'd call. That's all we'd call. And we maybe might flip in a little spider 2Y banana in there. That's a little John Gruden play that I used to love calling in Madden back in the day. So that play was like you have your heavy set. So you'd have your heavy set in there, and this is when you would have a fullback or an H-back tight end. So you'd have your tight end on the left side, kind of running like a post route to the right, and then you do a little play action, you boot to the right, and then you just hit your right bumper, and you'd hit the fullback if they were open. And most times, no one was paying attention to that fullback. So I fucking loved that play, and I only learned about it because of fucking John Gruden. So yeah, Spider 2Y Banana. What a fucking name and what a fucking play. All right, we already went over Buffalo beating Miami 31-21. I thought Cincinnati would be able to keep it a little bit closer today, but guess what? They did not. They lost 48-10 to the Minnesota Vikings, and the Vikings and Carson Wentz, their backup going. I'm starting to regret trading Justin Jefferson maybe, because if Carson Wentz is in there, Justin Jefferson's going to get hit. Because Carson Wentz doesn't care about throwing interceptions. He'll throw it down the fucking field. He doesn't give a shit. My fantasy guys, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, didn't have great days at the office. It's not really their fault, though. They've got Jake Browning throwing to them. That's the only concern I have is the quarterback for them. Their defense sucks, though. The Vikings were the better overall team, and they won, as they should. I'm very happy to see Aaron Rodgers win today. He did throw a pick, though, but he had two touchdowns, one interception. His first touchdown of the game did pass Brett Favre, I think, for fourth all-time at 509 career totes or touchdowns, whatever you want to call it. Still concerned for the Pittsburgh running game. They only averaged 2.5 yards per carry. Jalen Warren had 18 of those carries, but he was a pretty good threat out of the backfield with 34 yards. But what I'm worried about is this Caleb Johnson. I think that's his name, their third-string running back. Caleb Johnson didn't have a rushing attempt. And that's a rookie. Here's a rookie, I think he was taken in the third or fourth round. So, yeah, I'm not so sure that Pittsburgh needs to be better running the ball. It's a big win. It is a big win. Go 2-1. Patriots are not an easy out, that's for sure. Both my running backs didn't do very good for the Patriots, but I don't care. I'm happy. I'm happy with Pittsburgh getting the win. And you're damn right Browning sucks ass. Sage says to bring me Cliff Kingsbury. Fuck it. Cliff Kingsbury, I think, is a good option because he's a really good, bright offensive mind. I don't know about the intangibles of what if he can lead or anything like that. But if he can do the X's and O's, I think that's a big deal. You can bring other coaches around if you need. And you're damn right I traded for both Chase and T. It happens, man. That's fine, man. I love those two. I love those two a lot. And when fucking Joe Burrow comes back for the playoff run, we're going to be okay. Sage says it's not hard to outlead Brian Callahan. This is how sports people are, ladies and gentlemen. You're seeing what a true sports fan is right here. He hates his coach. But then again, Sage was very upset. Very upset when the Packers got Matt LaFleur, sorry. And I think, Sage, you were one of the ones that said you wanted LaFleur over Vrabel, if my memory is correct. I think you wanted him over Vrabel. I could be wrong, though, because of the offensive prowess that Matt LaFleur, who shaves his eyebrows, he clearly shaves his eyebrows, but he does have good play-calling ability. It's a shame. It sucks that one injury derails multiple. I don't think it'll derail them, but they're going to be way more inconsistent than with Joe Burrow. You're absolutely right about that. And Sage says he would have taken him for sure. Well, let's get to the next game here and see what the fuck is going on. I'm not surprised by this outcome whatsoever. You guys know, last year, what did I say after C.J. Stroud won the Rookie of the Year? I said expect a sophomore slump and expect regression. I don't think he's as good as what people think he is. Well, today he proved my point. He went on the road against Jacksonville, threw 2 picks for a 66 rating. Hey, as much as I want to bitch about fucking Jordan Love right now with an 89.5 rating on the day, we played Cleveland, a good defense. We were playing fucking Jacksonville. But he got, even Trevor Lawrence wasn't very good today. Only put up a 56.5 rating. They lost 17-10. The sky is falling in Houston. The sky, I joke about the Jays, the sky is falling. Well, the Jays are going to make the playoffs. Houston is 1 loss away from being unofficially eliminated. Unofficially eliminated from the playoffs. And I know Sage is over there smiling, being like, yeah, you know what? We might suck up here in Tennessee. We might be a shitty fucking team. But so is Houston, our division rival. I know you're grinning ear to ear over there, Sage. Come on. I'm not an idiot. Sage says, Vrabel had a great run, but LaFleur was the better long-term. Agreed. 3rd-year slump. Yeah, that's what I mean. Absolutely. With a stacked wide receiver corps, it is inexcusable because they do have good weapons. They've got a good running back. They've got not a great O-line, so I'm not going to give him the blame for the O-line because that definitely plays as well, the O-line, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I'll give it to you, yeah. They should be a lot better. Like, you got Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins. You had, like Stephon Diggs last year. There's another guy I'm not remembering. They got to play better because they've got a pretty fucking good defense with Greenyard and Will Anderson coming off the edge. So absolutely they need to play better. Now this was the game to me that stunned me. I'm absolutely blown away. Haven't seen the highlights of the game yet, but this game to me, I'm going to tell you right now. I was so high on the Falcons. I was literally a couple days ago saying, hey, I think potentially with some of the injuries Tampa's having, these could be the guys to beat in the South. I really thought that. I don't know what the hell happened today. They lost 30-0 to the Carolina Panthers. Michael Penix had 2 interceptions. Only 4.8 an average for throws. He didn't play very good. A 40 rating. I don't know. Bijan Robinson ran for 5.5 per carry. So I don't know what the hell happened. Usually, if your running back goes for 5.5 a carry, and then your backup goes for 6.6 a carry, we're talking play action. We're talking you blew them out. You won 30-3. Instead, they lose 30-0. It's not like, I don't know, man. I'm just looking at the box score. I didn't watch the fucking game. Bryce Young had a 78.6 rating. Where the hell did this go wrong? Atlanta outrushed the Panthers 131-110 as a team. They had 201 yards as a team to Carolina's 121. How many times did these guys turn the ball over? You got 2 from Penix. You must have had a couple fumbles. As a team, they had 1 fumble. Even with that, 30-0. They must have had some crazy fucking fumbles today. Honestly. That's just absurd to lose 30-0. And I like Bryce Young a little bit. I do. But holy shit, man. Holy shit. 30-0, and the yards aren't even that impressive. I don't know what to say. Sage says Cam Ward has 93 less yards than Stroud with an abysmal O-line and no wide receivers. Oh, there was 2 pick sixes by Penix. Well, there you go. You just spotted them 14 points. It's easy to get 16 points most weeks, right? So that explains it. I can't wait to watch the highlights on that. All right, but that was my big surprise, honestly. I really just completely surprised by that. Next game, I feel for you. I feel for you, Rams fans. You guys had an opportunity, just like the Packers, to kick a field goal and get a win. Instead, that fucker got blocked and got taken to the house by fucking Jordan Davis. Terrible way to lose. The Rams probably should have won the game, just like the Packers should have won the game. But, hey, special teams is a part of the game, too. 2-1 just like us. I feel your pain, Rams fans. Absolutely feel your fucking pain. What else do we got on the agenda for tonight? We got what? We got this game surprised me, too, in a way. Now, I don't know how much of this is garbage points or not, but the Tampa Bay Bucks won 29-27 against the Jets. That's not the surprising part. The surprising part to me is that it's 29-27. That they really made a game of this. Now, they outscored Tampa Bay 21-6 in the fourth quarter. So I don't know how much of that was garbage because I didn't watch the game. Tyrod Taylor wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great. 92 rating. Only 5.5 in that for his average per throw. And then 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Breece Hall didn't have a great game. 21 yards, 9 carries, so that's not going to get the job done. But as a team, they were okay for average. 4.3, 99 rushing yards. But I don't know. Tampa's fucking, they're powerful, man. They had 102 rushing yards, 233 fucking receiving yards. They're a good team. So they won, but the Jets made it closer. But I think there's some garbage points in there, in my opinion. Just guessing, though. Now, this game surprises me a bit. If you're an Oakland Raiders fan, I feel for you. I don't, and this is crazy, man. What happened in this game? I'm trying to dissect it. If you told me that Geno Smith would pass for 300 yards and have 3 touchdowns, no picks, I would have said the Raiders win that game against Marcus Mariota by a lot. So I'm trying to see what happens. And right away, I do see the rushing yards. I see 201 rushing yards without Jaden Daniels. That's a lot of rushing yards. That's a 6.3 average, okay? So that tells me a little something there. Whereas, Oakland, 28 carries, 93 yards. That's only 3.3 average. There must be turnovers. There must be. No. I don't know what. I'm trying to see how did they win 41-24? I don't know how they won 41-24. When I look at the stats, it just looks like mostly it should be like probably not Not the fucking Commanders winning. I don't know. Sage says the Eagles aren't very impressive. Honestly, I do agree with that sentiment. They could have easily lost all 3 games. I agree. Sage says, Mary Goda. Yeah, okay. I like it. It's funny, but he only had a touchdown. He only had 207 yards. I'm perplexed as someone who didn't watch this game, how they won when their stats were as good. They must have had some special team shit going on, man. I'm kind of curious to dig a little deeper on that after the stream. I'm not going to bother with it now. What else do we have? We've got, now why are they doing this shit to me? They got to fuck off a little bit here. Give me back my box score, man. Okay. Just trying to sift through the weeds here. All right. This game was exactly the way I expected it to go. I did expect the Chargers to win. I might have even said 23-20. I don't know. But they had to come back. Chargers had to come back against the Broncos. I mean, Justin Herbert didn't have a great game. He only had a touchdown and an interception, but the Broncos are tough. He had 300 yards, which is fine. Only a 76 rating. Omarion Hampton, haven't really seen him do as well as we're going to. 70 yards on 19 carriers. But he's going to have a bigger workload moving forward as Najee Harris will be out for the season. So that's good if you're a fantasy owner of him, like me. But that's not necessarily good if you're a Chargers fan because you're lacking a bit of depth in the backfield now. But 23-20, great division game. I wouldn't expect any less. They moved to 3-0. Denver's now 1-2. Seattle bounced back. Now, Seattle's a team that scares me a bit this year. Easily could have won last week against San Fran. They blew out New Orleans 44-13. What else do we have to say, man? I mean, they just kicked the shit out of them, man. That's all I have to say about that. That's my prognosis. The San Francisco 49ers, they keep winning ugly. They keep winning with Mac Jones as well. He wasn't necessarily great. Probably did what he needed to do. Good little game manager. They won 16-15 against Arizona. I think there was a play late that really changed the scope of that game. A defensive play. I think it was one of the defensive backs made a great play. I like Arizona as a team better than San Fran, but they got bested today. San Francisco is, I don't think they're as good as a 3-0 record. Honestly, I'd say they're one of the weaker 3-0 teams. But they got the job done. 16-15's ugly, but, man, you faced a fucking great team. I wouldn't say a great team, but Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are a team that scare the shit out of me. They do scare the shit out of me a little bit. Now, James Conner, I believe, is out with an injury for the next little while. I did hear, maybe the year. I think James Conner could be out for the year. And if that's true, or even if he's missing extended time, that's a big blow. Because he's a good little running back into the backfield who can run the ball, catch the ball. That would be a big blow for the Cardinals. This is another game that surprised me today. The Bears. Yeah, you heard me. The Chicago fucking Bears looked great on offense today against the Dallas Cowboys at home. Caleb Williams threw 4 touchdowns. He was good for 142.6 rating. Can you believe that? I can't. Although I love his arm talent. I think if you can hone him, you've got all the physical intangibles that you need there. He's not the smartest quarterback in my opinion. He needs to be coached up. But, man, I love watching him play. If they can just harness him a little bit, reel him in, I really like what they got there. It's a bad loss for the Cowboys. They're now 1-2. I'm not looking forward to playing the Cowboys because, I mean, I don't think they're a bad team. I don't think they're a great team, but I think they're a team that any given Sunday can win. But, man, you only scored 14 points, Dallas, against a team that led 52 last week to Detroit. Is that bad, Sage? I don't know. You tell me, man. Is that fucking bad? Seems pretty bad to me. Unbelievable. And the last game of the week, I watched a bit of it. It was a week, as I said last night, this is a shitty matchup for Sunday Night Football. They should be able to flex out of these games, man. They should be able to flex out of these games, honestly. Sage says that CeeDee Lamb broke his ankle and that Dallas is in shambles. Did he actually have a severe ankle injury, CeeDee Lamb? I knew he was injured. I didn't know he had an ankle injury that was that severe. Or do we don't know yet? Waiting an MRI? Oh, it looks bad from the pictures. So, maybe not a season ender, but it's one that's probably going to be multiple weeks, you would guess, right? If his ankle's just hanging there, you think he'd be done for the year, right? But no, I started watching, I think it was like 6-6. Started watching, it was 6-6. I was all right. We're going to have a close game. You know, like maybe New York will actually cover the spread like I was thinking they would. That's not the case. Kansas City won 22-9. What pissed me off, though, like Russell Wilson, 2 interceptions. He threw an interception at the end of the half. It just didn't need to happen. Because you throw that pick and then you're spotting points to fucking Kansas City. You can't do that. Like Russell Wilson, he doesn't look fast anymore. I know he rushed a few times tonight, but he doesn't look like fast. Like he's not a read option threat. I don't know when they're going to put Jackson Dart in. I heard potentially like, okay, yeah, you got the Saints coming up. They don't necessarily want to do that because they'll have the Eagles 2 out of 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So they might not do it then either. But I kind of like, I like a lot of the pieces that the Giants have. This Cam Scadaboo looks really good to me. I don't know. This must be a rookie. Honestly, he looks really good. They have good receivers. They have a great defensive line, although I saw Brian Burns get injured, so I don't know if that's serious or not, or if he came back. They've got some good pieces, but like, I just feel like, why not just throw your first round draft pick in there? Not necessarily soon, but at some point. What, you have Brian Burns in your fantasy league, Sage? Yeah, I saw him go down. Maybe it wasn't as bad as it looked. I'll quickly check Roto World. He's a stud. He was injured going into the game, too. He had a limited practices in Friday's practice. Okay, he was limited on Sunday with undisclosed injury. Burns and Wan'Dale Robinson had collided during practice. But they're not having an update. This is back in July 27th, so that's not what we're talking about. They don't post as much about defensive players when it comes to injuries as offensive players because it's more for fantasy. I don't know, Sage. I'm pretty sure I saw Brian Burns go down. So I would definitely keep that in consideration moving forward. He is a stud, though. I will give you that. But I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see if we get Jackson Dart in there, see what he does. Russell Wilson hasn't been able to play for a very long time. Very long time. Sage must have just Googled it because he said son of a gun. Well, yeah, disappointing week for Packers fans. Should have won the game, but you didn't. And, we gotta patch up the offensive line. We got to do better. You got to tip your hat to the Browns, though, man. They weren't great on offense. They played great on defense. They got us late with special teams. That shit fucking happens, man. It's football. It's fucking, That's why I don't necessarily like betting on it, because it can go either way, especially cover the spread. Let's take a look before we end. Let's just take a look at the scores in the Pete Rose Bowl Cut. So we are now 1 week into the playoffs, and after 1 week, yours truly, the Rodfather, is up 8-6 in a close affair with Tommy Callahan's Auto Parts. We've got Annette's Awesome Team up 10-4 against Alejandro's Astounding Team. You got Vlad the Impalers up 10-6 against the Dock Sliders. And then you got Orange Juicy Fruit up 12-2 against Graham's Great Team. Now, because I've been fucked like a fucking mule in the past by ESPN, I'm going to make sure I set my roster tonight. Sage, I would like you to do the same. Wow, there's a lot of off days tomorrow, man. Wow. I don't have any pitchers going tomorrow, except maybe a reliever. Do you have any guys going tomorrow, Sage? For pitching? I've got 3 position players going tomorrow, and one of them's injured. And then I got 4 pitchers going, three relievers. Sage says he has not. Okay, I was just wondering because I was like, holy fuck, if you're stacked up, I'm in trouble. Let me set for the day after. I'm moving Gavin Williams. I'm going to take a fucking picture of Gavin Williams right now and send it to Sage. Because I don't want any more fuckery. Okay? I don't need any more fuckery. There, you like this, Sage? I'm proving to you. If you fucking change my roster again, I'll fucking see your ass in court. There you. Oh shit! Yeah, that's you. Shit! Why the fuck are they fucking doing this to me? Don't listen. Don't listen. That was nothing. That was nothing. That wasn't anything copyrighted. There's been no copyright infringement that's been done. Because my TV decided to be fucking nuts and turn on. How many guys you got going Tuesday, Sage? I've only got 2 starters going Tuesday unless I play Ohtani as a pitcher. You got 1. Well, I'll see if I'll play Ohtani or not. Depends how these fucking home runs go, man. Jesus fuck. It's close, man. I've got a fucking 885 OPS and it's still close. That's unbelievable to have that fucking OPS. We should not have OPSs this high. Like an 885, that's like 500 slug. It's just fucking unbelievable. It's a goddamn Mexican cockfight. It's the fucking Catalina Pete Rose Bowl Cut. Is what I've got to say about that. Alright, and finally, Sage. All my players have played. 4th quarter, Steven has finally played every player. We're at 268.5. You're at 241.41. You're projected to win 272 at the juicery to my 268.5. That's going to be a hard cover. That's going to be a hard cover. Then you got deflate these balls up 340 to 245, projected for 363. Well, I'm sorry, hard counting that. You've got no shot in hell. You got patchwork pigskins potentially getting in the win column against touchdowns in your face. Currently 275 to 263 for Miss Pigskins. Projections favor her as well, 317 to 310. Those projections, you can shove up your candy ass because they don't always mean shit. That's a barn burner right there. And then finally, we'll save the least impressive for the last. Butt fumble safety, gonna win 284 to 218 as per the projections. So that'll close out the week. We'll see how it all goes tomorrow. But Tim Tebow Bible Club has no chance in hell, and neither does Hard Canada. Need Lamar to only target Flowers. Oh my God. Yeah, I love that when it's like, holy shit, those types of matchups. You must have someone else going though tomorrow, no? You got Zay Flowers, David Montgomery, the backup. No one on defense. To me, David Montgomery's touchdown dependent. He's up against a Ravens defense that is very good against the run. Yeah, Brian Burns was big tonight. Maybe it was just a stinger or something. He might be all right, man. He might be all right. Montgomery does get his fair share because he's a bigger back, right? So he's going to get a lot of the short yardage work and that sort of thing, right? He's a good back. I like David Montgomery. Yeah, goal line touches, he gets a ton of those for sure. Because Jahmyr Gibbs is more of the speed guy. He's more of the plunderer, if you will. I'm not happy with how the week went for the Packers, but that's football. It's been a fun week regardless. Jays need to close out. You tried getting Gibbs for that reason. Yeah, that's one combo where if you handcuff him, you're not necessarily losing anything by doing that handcuff. That's not actually a bad handcuff, to be honest. Not a bad handcuff. Yeah, fuck you, Sage. I see your little Discord message now, you little son of a bitch. Fuck you. You're not worthy of eating that fat bastard. You go to hell. I am looking to make a trade or two this week. So if anyone's interested in trading, please reach out. You got A.J. Brown on the chopping block. I like A.J. Brown a lot. I don't like his quarterback as a thrower. In fact, I don't really like their quarterback a whole lot, if I'm being honest with you. He's got a lot of talent around him, and he's got a great offensive line in front of him. And I think that he is a product of a lot of that stuff. Not saying he's terrible, but I don't think he's a pure passer. I wouldn't even consider him as a top 10. Wouldn't even consider him as a top 10. Sage, it's all about regrets this year for us in football. We need to get our shit together. We need to right our ship, make some trades. There's no pressure on us right now. We know we fucked up. I'm not happy with my draft 100%. I went with a different approach. I tried to be modern. Typically speaking, I don't draft rookies that are wide receivers. I did that a couple times. I got help coming, but typically that's not my philosophy. They do take a while to develop. Typically that's the same for tight ends, though Brock Bowers was a sensation last year. I really like this Tyler Warren guy. I do love Tucker Kraft. I know he didn't have a great game today. So, in my opinion, I would not have drafted Brock Bowers because every year I have the philosophy of tight ends aren't important, and guess what? It works for me because I end up finding some stud in the free agency, you know? You can find a Dalton Kincaid here and there. You can plug in, a guy here and there, right? So I've got regrets for doing that. I regret that you hurt Joe Burrow with a wrench because Joe Burrow. Oh, I love Joe Burrow. I was gonna trade for Joe Burrow. I would have drafted Joe Burrow, and I would have drafted Joe Burrow, and I wouldn't have had a fucking problem with drafting Joe Burrow. You don't regret drafting Joe Burrow. You know what? Joe Burrow probably throws for 5,000 yards this year. You don't regret that. He got an injury, man. He got an injury. Now, if I'm Cincinnati, what should I be doing? I should be building a fucking offensive line for him. Oh, you did it just to fucking get me to trade for him, didn't you? That's what Dan thought. That you did it just to fucking get me, because you know how much I'm gushing about Joe Burrow. You know I love Joe Burrow. Let me just check Joe Burrow. It can't be the rest. It can't be as long as they're saying. Do you want to do a waiver trade, Sage, where I land Joe Burrow, please? A small trade for Joe Burrow. When does playoffs start for us? I just want Joe Burrow on my fucking team. Please. Now, fuck off, Sage. You take home Area Hampton. Okay, this conversation is over. This stream is closing. Alright, guys, we'll be back at it tomorrow. I don't know if we'll play a game or not. I am going to start adding the gaming in as well, as per Sage's advice. But for now, I'm going to listen to some fucking music. A little Kenny Rogers, a little Johnny Cash, a little bit of John Denver. And that's all I'm going to do for the rest of the night. Yeah, it doesn't look... I just roto-world it. They say the minimum he could return is mid-December. I'm going to have to learn more about turf toe. I don't know, man. Toes aren't that important, are they? Fuck that, Joe Burrow. Fucking amputate that son of a bitch and play. Fuck you, Joe. Fuck you. Alright, guys. It's been fun, but I do have to run. Have a good night, guys. We'll be at it tomorrow. Sage, I don't want to hear fucking you stand up for Joe Burrow. Amputate the fucking toe. Please. Amputate the fucking toe. Ronnie Lott that fucking toe! Alright, good night.